The Jaguars are really going to have some good problems on their hands. I mean, Doug and Trent have to be looking at the roster and just feel really good, kind of like the way Kai was looking at this Jaguars play the other day. She just looks so happy. They caught her in the back of the broadcast. I went through the Jaguars roster today and came up with only about 7 spots that I really feel like are still up for grabs, maybe on the roster bubble. You got to respect those bubble guys. This Jaguars roster is flat out competitive. From top to bottom, they've done a good job of really raising the floor on this team. And that's why you see the Jaguars winning so many preseason games. Now, the wins and the losses don't really matter, but at the same time, they kind of do, because it shows just how much talent the Jaguars have on their team and that they're going to have to cut some really good players come cut day. And, you know, it's never a good time to say goodbye, but cut day is coming up. And when the Jaguars have to go from 90 down to 53, I don't think there's going to be any big surprise cuts this year. But I am really interested to see how all the pieces on this roster are going to be able to come together. There are some things that I like and some things that I don't like as much. I think this is going to be a good year for the Jaguars, but one of the things I don't really like about the state of the Jags right now is their offensive line. It just kind of feels like it's the same as it's been for maybe the past 3 years. And I feel like we've been saying the same thing, that the offensive line's been an issue for the past 3 years. Now, the O-line, it has been good enough for them to win 9 games for each of the last 2 seasons, but is it good enough to kind of help them get over the hump? That's the question that they're going to have to figure out a way to answer once the games start this upcoming season. We're going to be talking all about it on the next episode of Teal the Show. We're going to have Frank Frangie in the building. That's coming your way tomorrow night at 11:20, where we will start to kind of wrap up the preseason and start moving ahead. They do have one more preseason game, but we're going to wrap up training camp and start looking at what's next and what's coming up this regular season. That's Teal the Show coming your way at 11:20 tomorrow night right here on Channel 4. If you want more Jaguars coverage before then, make sure you're checking out the News4Jags podcast. Justin Barney and I sat down after the Jaguars preseason game against the Buccaneers, wrapped it up with everything. You can track that down right now over on News4Jags.com if you click on that handy-dandy sports page, or you can get it anywhere that you get your podcast. Make sure you subscribe while you're there, because we're going to have new episodes coming out all season long. We're going until whenever the Jaguars stop, and then actually we'll keep going throughout the offseason. News4Jags podcast, really good way to keep up with everything going on around your favorite team. You can also sign up for the News4Jags newsletter. You can do that over on News4Jags.com/newsletters.